Hello everyone, thank you so much for clicking my channel and for coming to this video. My name is Valerie and welcome to Val N Vibes. So for today's video, we're going to delve into one of the questions that I'm sure all of us have had at some point or many times. What is my purpose? Why am I down here? And what impact am I supposed to leave? I'm not going to claim to have the answer to all those different questions, but I do think that there's a lot of value in moving through life with intentionality. To really move through life with some kind of awareness or some kind of desire or hope for the impact or the ripple effect you're going to leave behind. This can be both a kind of simple but also kind of complex topic. So to break it down, I'm going to use an analogy to water. Dr. Masaru Emoto is a Japanese scientist who revolutionized the idea that our thoughts and intentions can impact the physical realm, and he's one of the most renowned water researchers in the world. His research found scientific evidence that the molecular structure in water transforms when exposed to human words, thoughts, sounds, and intentions. He was able to make this discovery through the use of magnetic resonance analysis technology and high-speed photographs. When exposed to loving and benevolent and compassionate human intentions, the water crystallized in aesthetically pleasing physical molecular formations. But in contrast, when exposed to fearful and discordant human intentions, it resulted in disconnected, disfigured, and unpleasant physical molecular formations. Here are some of the resulting images from his study. With us being over 70% water, many believe that this responsive nature of water may impact us in similar ways when we are exposed to positive or negative intentions or stimuli. Whether this is the correct logical progression or not, I think the fact that these studies found that water holds vibration and memory, like us, has led many, including Dr. Emoto, to believe that the behavior of water can be likened to a spiritual consciousness. We know that everything and everyone holds a vibration, but this helps us further understand what that might mean and say about our universe, and maybe even what that means for our purpose. So when you broaden this whole idea out to thinking about the collective consciousness as a whole, so imagine yourself not as a person, but maybe as a drop of water. So when you think about the visual of like a drop of water dropping into a larger body of water, you get a close-up, you see that splash, and then you see the ripple, all the ripples that happen as consequence of that drop of water. So if you think about yourself as that drop of water, as you're falling down from wherever you're dropping from and stuff, that drop is basically the aggregation and basically your timeline of your life. And when you hit that body of water, think about that ripple as the outcome or the effects or the consequences of everything that you've done. And I think that's why I stress intentionality so much, because there's so many things that we can't control for. Life is full of randomness and entropy and all that fun stuff. Like, things are all over the place and you can't control for all of it, but what you can control to an extent is yourself. You yourself are the only thing that is mostly within your locus of control. Everything else is dependent on other ripple effects to make it kind of come together and happen in such a way that you visualized it and someone else has happened to also visualize it. It's all kind of pointing to the fact that there's a connection between all of us and stuff. The way we relate to each other, the vibrations that we emit to each other is crucial and it cannot be discounted. And I think that's one of the really cool things about water, and the reason that I wanted to pull that as an analogy for this whole idea, because water holds vibrations and it literally has a memory just like us. The way we impact people and the feeling that we leave with people has an impact on who that person is. When you think about a lot of the bad things that people go through and the traumas that people hold and the different villain stories that people have, it didn't just happen to them. Someone did something, or someone triggered something to happen that made that person feel devalued, or something probably occurred that that person internalized and that has impacted them. So whether you like it or not, when people are like, this person's part of my villain story, like, that's some real impact. Even if it was unintentional, even if your intent is to be peace and love and everything, like, that was also an impact. You have to realize that in every single interaction that we have, we really are impacting each other, because that whole idea of separateness and individuality is an illusion at best. How did you get here? You know what I mean? Your drop falling is of consequence to infinite other decisions and twists and turns on infinite people's journeys that led you to exist as you do in this moment is all really humbling. You understand that each of us truly do have a purpose, even if we cannot necessarily tell anybody what our purpose is going to be, because none of us know what our time clock is going to go off or the different turns that life is going to bring us on, right? But I think all of us do have a purpose. I feel like each of us does have a reason to be down here. And if that reason is just to inspire someone or to save someone from making a bad decision or different things like that, like, it's crucial for the story. You know, like, the show must go on, so you have to be here. When you think about the body of water, or this hypothetical body of water that I'm talking about, that encompasses the collective conscious of all of humanity. Like any body of water, it has waves. Like any body of water, it has waves. And some of the waves are positive, some of the waves are less positive. Some of the waves move us in the direction that maybe is more progressive and maybe better for the collective as a whole. Other things maybe keep us entrapped in patterns that maybe have not best served us as a whole or even us individually, you know? I think that when thinking about your impact and thinking about what you want to leave on this earth, it's important to make sure that the actions and things that you're doing contribute to waves that you believe in and contribute to waves that will lead to an existence that you would like to leave behind and that you would like to exist in. Once we believe that we don't have control, then we literally give our control away. When you understand that with each waking moment and every opportunity and in every action that you take, you are formulating your ripple effect. You are forming who you're going to be and the kind of impact you're going to leave behind. And when I say impact that you're going to leave behind, and when a lot of us think about the idea of legacy, I think a lot of us think really huge and bold, but I think it's really important to realize that we really are all characters in this collective conscious, in this universe. Your impact goes way beyond what you could even ever see or what you could ever potentially even fathom. I remember a while back I heard this story. I think it was like the mayor of our city, and he was talking about how he lived across the way from a very prominent Black dentist in the community, and he would watch him wake up every morning and go to work at his dental practice. And this kid, who eventually became the mayor, never even met this dentist. But seeing him every single day and everything motivated this man and all of his friends to work really, really hard. So they got through school, went to college, and moved on to great things. And he eventually became the mayor of the city that I was born and raised in. That dentist can look back at his life and be like, I impacted these people and I did this and that and that. I started this dental facility and had all these accolades and all these different things. But unless he heard that story, did he also know that influencing and inspiring the future mayor of the city was also part of his ripple effect? Like, those kinds of things you can't actually measure because our lives and our realities are inextricably linked. The impact of your existence in your reality, whether we see it or not, does impact mine. But when you think about waves that you believe in or ideas that you believe in, even if you're the only one fighting for something or who believes in something, you're not the only one, even if it feels that way. Maybe in your own microcosm of your universe and your reality, you might feel like it, but I promise you that you're not the only one. You're not the only one who believes in better. You're not the only one who wants to vibrate higher. And as each of us take those steps to embody what we believe that we want this world to look like, what we believe that we want our reality to look like, we're all doing our part to leave waves and to contribute to waves that we believe in. The crazy thing about water and its responsive nature, that it is most responsive to itself. One of the funny things when you're looking at the actual structure or molecular structure of water is that you have like H2O. So you have your two hydrogens and you have your oxygen. They're bonded by hydrogen bonds, and these hydrogen bonds are also what connect water molecules to each other and lead to cohesion. The cohesion between water is so strong. When you look at the water tension that comes from water just naturally sticking together, it's amazing. It literally holds us up. That's why you float in water. So thinking about that whole idea of like stronger together, sticking together, the water tension, just the natural adhesion, never think that you're by yourself. Never think that you're in this by yourself. I feel like we have a natural tendency and desire towards community and towards sticking together and towards the betterment, because we know that we can't do it by ourselves. But I feel like we've been so fed the idea that the only way that we can make it is by ourselves, which just isn't true. I think that's a trap that keeps us where we are, in realities that we're not happy with results that we're not happy with existences that we're not happy with. Your personal ripple effect of the choices that you make will either go against or will reinforce the different trends and ways of consciousness that we see in society. And yes, you're unique, you know, and I'm not trying to take away anybody's individuality, but I think it's also important to realize that all of us are also still the product of this same society. Like, we're unique, but within the context of our society. So when you have different feelings and different things that you want to support and different things that you believe in, even if it seems radical in your certain setting or not very well supported, just know that you're not actually by yourself. Like, your reaction to what's happening in society is normal and it's okay, potentially justifiable, but you're not alone. And I feel like that's where the whole idea of intentionality and all those things come into, like, I feel like a lot of times we feel like we don't have control, so it's just like dispersed in erratic energy. But I think it's a lot of power in using your intentional and concerted energy to kind of push the different things that you believe in and find communities and find different people who also support those different things that you believe in. I think one of the reasons why I think social media is like an amazing tool and is really important for our time specifically is because of the way that it forms another avenue for us to connect with each other and for us to also find like people and find communities. Because I feel like one of the difficult things about life is that it's really easy to feel alone, to feel like when you're pushing for something, especially when it's in dissonance with those around you, that you're the only one feeling that way. And sometimes it's easy to even gaslight yourself into thinking that something that you're feeling isn't valid. But I think one of the beautiful things about social media is the ability that it's created for us to find communities and to basically foster and develop communities with people who you may not have ever met otherwise, but you feel some sort of affinity to or some sort of connection to. And I think that's really, really important in validating all of our own experiences and invalidating all the beautiful things that are about us, and further validating that it's okay not to be content with the way things are, because that discontent is probably what's going to breed the change that we need to see. But that's all to say, nothing has to be like anything. So when you believe in something, or when you believe that you can be something, or you believe that you can do something, understand that that can be your impact. Understand that nothing is too big or too small to be impactful or worth your existence. You are meant to be here, and with every single thing you do, you are forming your legacy. Even if you cannot point your finger onto every single thing that you've done, if you move with intentionality and a degree of love, it'll be beautiful. All right, thank you all so much for staying to the end of my video, and thank you so much for vibing with me. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I have videos coming out weekly, and I will see you all next time. Bye.